the fuck they are. They're not bed bugs or anything like that.
Good evening,
morning,
everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family
they
Compound and
That's
Rebel
right.
Canners. And Mark's talking, and he's not realizing he started talking.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Monday Night Fireside Chat, and tonight's topic is types of canners. And with me here, we got Mark and Tammy. And Tammy, I got to talk to you afterwards. I got some great ideas, but also I want to apologize. I should have thought of this sooner. I mean, I'm about 3 months behind setting up that thumbnail with your logo on it too.
Oh.
And so as soon as Mark creates a nice logo for Chef Tech, I can stick it in there too. And I also put a slide in there. Of course, then he's got to start putting videos on his show, on his channel.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Yeah. All right. All right. Couple things. Actually, first, let's say hi to everybody out there. Comments. Go to the top. All right. So Walt Rogers was the first one in. Then Ryan the Gamer. Troop 1351. It's the Marshmallow Man. That's Lewis. Sumi is here. Aiden is here. Walt says he's lurking. Kaylin's here. And that's the only ones down there. Interesting thing was Wyatt was going to the countdown. When I switched the other one, it still said up in my top up here, it shows on StreamYard how many people are watching. It said 3. Oh. And I counted 7 people making comments, and it's like, and now it says 4. Oh, now it says 14. Just went up another one. All righty. So
I see 10. I see 10 on my YouTube side.
Yeah. So anyone lurking, you're welcome to lurk. That's not a problem. But we'd appreciate if you can hit the thumbs up and at least say, "Hey, lurking." Yeah, exactly. A couple of interesting things when I was going over looking at this stuff. There are a bunch of ancient brands that I haven't heard of before.
A lot of them have merged into a couple big companies.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Or they were made by a larger company, but are marketed under their own name. So like Sears had their own canner, but it was actually made by Presto, I believe. I'd have to look, but but it was marketed by Sears for Sears, and
Kathleen's in on your side.
Hi, Kathleen.
Okay. Interesting thing. Other thing came up. I was going through the cupboards because I was going to pull out. I pulled out here. This is not green screen. This is actually here, and I pulled this out. I was going to say this is not a canner.
No, just put it away.
No. What's interesting, what can confuse people, so this is Reveal, or whatever.
Revere. Man, I gotta teach you how to speak.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a hick cowboy from Southern California.
Yeah, Revere wear.
I didn't have lace up shoes till the 3rd grade. I wore cowboy boots to school, and I still outran everybody. But interesting is this is 15, 10, 5, and that can confuse people.
Yes, and a lot of the Prestos, there's a way to tell if they're a cooker and a canner. Both, you flip it over and it's stamped on the bottom.
Yeah, that's what that one is. It says canner cooker.
Yes, which means you can cook in it and you can can in it. There are most of the times it's the 2-handle rule by Presto. If it has 2 handles, it's a canner. But a lot of the 1-handled ones, some of the bigger ones are also canners, but you have to flip them over. They have 1 handle, but you flip them over and it says cooker canner on the bottom.
Yeah. And on that line, when I pulled out this was actually the staff sergeant's maternal grandmother's. When I picked up, I heard something flopping inside. And so, and what's interesting, just so everybody can see how easy to open this up.
Yep.
All right. And my wife, the first time she used it over at her grandmother's house, got scalded doing that.
Yeah. It doesn't have the safety.
Yeah,
Doesn't
don't
have
do
a
that.
safety on it. Anyways, that's not a canner, that's a cooker. She'd stuck this in there.
There you go.
Oh, I love it.
The Presto book and a Revere canner. Well, you know, whatever works.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is, this was my mom's. I'll show you guys. I'm going to make myself big, so don't get frightened, people. See if I get the date, show the date right up over here by my finger. 1946 is when my mom bought it.
Yep.
Okay. And what's interesting is I look in the parts thing. It has the parts list. It is a single handle, but it was a cooker canner.
Yep.
With the jiggler and everything on it. And everything, it has all the canning stuff in here as well. And so that's one of those ones that can confuse people from way back when.
Yeah.
But I just want to get that out of the way. So you can see there are some ones that, oh, wait, that looks like my great grandmother's single, handle canner, but this is not a canner. These are canners.
My mom used to make meatloaf in a pressure cooker. It was the weirdest thing, but it worked.
Yeah.
My mom cooked in hers all the time.
All right, got two more people came in. Prepper for the Ages came in on my side, and Angels Homestead came in on your side, Tammy.
Welcome.
Yeah. And so but let me go ahead and let's I think I got a couple more slides here on the side here. And then we're going to go through the fun stuff just to get this. So I finally put yours on here, but I forgot to replace it on the main thumbnail. A water bath. We got probably 5 of these.
Yeah.
2 of them my wife and I bought. One was my mom's. It's a big, huge. I cannot put my arms around it. It's the one that she did the half-gallon bottles in for pears and apricots.
Yeah, it's an Amish canner.
That's my dream. I want one of those.
I'm not going to buy it until the staff sergeant's here and she says, yes, let's get that.
All right. When it comes to water bath canners, I mean, if I'm doing like 4 jars of tomatoes I had left over,
yeah,
I have lots and lots of large, wide, narrow pots. All you need is water, a spacer on the bottom, so you're not going to blow the jar up, and enough water top to give it give an inch of water over the top.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, I need to buy that granite-ware canner. I'm like, no, you got a pot. How many jars? Unless you're doing like 50 jars at a time, then okay, you might want to get a bigger pot.
Yeah. And then pressure canners. And I got a question for you, Tammy, concerning this All-American back here behind me. I'll bring it forward here in a little bit. Because this one here has a jiggler on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have it either way. It can have a peacock or a jiggler.
All right. And then this is a more modern Presto. And here's a Presto digital electric. My wife will never get one of these because the cost of the electricity is cheaper. You have to do propane. You take it outside and put it on the propane big cooker with the diffuser on it. And there's the Instant Pot, which my wife does have an Instant Pot, but she doesn't want to use it for canning. Oh, you tell Mike is in the house. He's lurking.
Oh, you guys heard me rambling there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is I couldn't find a good picture other than a box for the Miro. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
And then Graniteware actually made pressure cookers or makes pressure cookers, not the big pots, not the big water bath cans, but they actually make pressure cookers. And it surprised the heck out of me because I found a little, I'll show it to you here because I got it up on another thing, but And so I went looking and I found this one here. That was granite ware. And there's other granite ware for the water bathing, that's the canning, what do they call it? It's the canning.
It's like a double boiler.
It's not just a double boiler. You get the double boiler. You got the big thing. You get everything you would need to water bath can all the way down the line.
Yeah, that one probably has holes in the bottom, so you just pull the whole pot out, let it drain, and your jars are in the pot.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you always keep your jars off the bottom, whether you use a spacer rack or I've even used a towel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are actually for like making crawfish boil more than they are for canning.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting thing. One of the things I did, it didn't show up this morning, but showed up this afternoon. I went in when I was on the other computer. I was pulling some of those images up, and I spent probably several hours going through. I don't want that image. I want this, looking for the right images and stuff. But Google is now using AI to give you a synopsis of whatever you put the search in for. And it talks about pressure canners, water bath, steam canners, and then it lists some blogs that they picked out. But this is an experimental. The generative AI is experimental, and you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah, for now, give it a week.
Yeah, but like I say, this morning it didn't pop up. It popped up this afternoon.
Oh, I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes. I'm going to go in the house. I'll be right back.
Okay. So she's going inside. So, I looked at everything here, and everything in here information here is pretty much accurate. And it does list all, they listed the three top ones as All-American, Miro, and Presto. Or pressure canners. The AI doesn't know that granite ware made pressure canners. Anyways, they think they only make water bath canners. Anyway, so I went over here and I brought up showed a whole bunch of different ones. When Tammy comes back in, but there was one. So I'm going to show it. There we go. This is where I found out granite ware made pressure canners. There's the image of it right there.
That's old.
So you got All-American, granite ware, Miro, and Presto were the four. I guess were the four big ones. And that was put out by Canning Diva. But yeah. But interestingly enough, go back over here to this one here. Go down here to the things, and you can see the price on some of these things going on. Pleasant Hill Green, okay, and they listed different types.
Holy crap! The 921 is $419. Jeez.
This is
the thing with that one is it will outlive your grandchildren.
Well, yeah, but I didn't pay that much for my 930, but yeah.
But anyway, so these are some of the ones. And the interesting thing was, I'll follow up in a second. But now Tammy's here. Go back up here. I found this here, and it's out of focus. When she loaded it up to Fakebook, and it's out of focus, but it has All-American, the granite ware pressure cooker, and the Miro pressure cooker, and the Presto pressure cooker. So, but hey, look what popped up. The thumbnail for tonight's live.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm going through here and just looking at all the different ones, and here's the steamer, and everything you can think about. There is, of course, this was not showing as good of pictures as as I pulled up this morning. I go from one computer to the other, brings up totally different images, but so anyways, there's it's got all that. Now I want to show you here for a second. Let's go back here before I go into it. I want to pull up the All-American here. Okay, so this little
The
valve
peacock
here,
or petcock.
yeah, can that just be replaced to be a jiggler?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I want to know, because I mean, this thing, a jiggler, I can hear that jiggler walking around the kitchen in the other rooms. I don't have to be watching this. And
Yeah.
when I have the jiggler working, I can tell how fast it's jiggling.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta go turn it down. Well, it's just barely jiggling. Maybe I better bump it just a hair up on the flame. So
if you go on the website, they have all the parts for sale, and like my local Amish hardware has the part, and it's very easy to switch out.
good. That's one of the things. So anybody else out there is wondering if I have an old one and I don't trust this, well, you can get a jiggler for
I
it.
actually like that better, but there's my baby.
Yeah, with the emblem on it, ooh, or logo, I should say.
Yes, Lehman's Hardware did that for me special.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
Tammy, what's the difference between a Presto canner and a All-American canner? Or do you want me to go there?
I grew up. I used Presto, and I loved my Presto growing up. I was gifted 2 of the silver All-Americans 3 years ago, and I have never looked back. I really love the All-American now. It is heavier duty. It's all one-piece aluminum, and it's nice. It's nice. And it will, like I said, Becca has one that was her great-grandmother's. It will outlive me. It will outlive my kids. It will probably outlive my grandkids.
Yeah. My
And there's no parts to replace unless you choose to.
Yeah.
That's my major point is if for some reason the stores are closed, my dog is squeaking his ball, sorry. If for some reason you can't get to the store anymore to buy a new gasket, you better have a whole bunch saved up, or the All-American doesn't use gaskets. And that's that was my tag on Rebel.
Yeah. You don't need a gasket. There's no gasket, so there's no parts that wear out. I mean, you should still check your gauge and have a backup gauge. But there are no parts to wear out on this at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like this one here. I bought my wife a brand new one. This is the 21 quart. Oh geez, 15 years ago, and it's still in its box in the cupboard. Every time I mention about, well, do you want me to take it? She goes, no, that's mine. When I get around to using it, I will use it.
Is that the 930?
No, this is the
925. It said there's a label, there's a tag on it.
Yeah, I'm looking here trying to read it. 921.
Oh, 921. Okay. Yeah, I got the 930. I have 2 930s. You can double stack quartz in there. It's amazing.
Yeah. So this particular one here, though, was a friend of ours that they're old enough to be my parents. All right, I grew up running around with their boys, and their boys were in my haunted house and stuff like that. And my wife connected, and my mom and Clarinita were like this. And when I got married, my mom drug Chris into it with a couple of the older ladies at church there, and brought her into their, not a clique. It's just they were the church moms. It's like there were like 6 moms that everybody went to one or the other's house, and you could show up at anybody's house anytime. Hey, mom, and they every call them moms and stuff. So when she passed away several years ago, Wayne called my wife, because most of the other moms there either had stopped canning or had passed away as well, and said, hey, you want Clarinita's stuff? And so he gave her this and like 12 boxes of jars, the old-fashioned jars with the actual fold-down lids and everything on it. So
nice. Hey,
so
Kaylin just said the gauge looks too small to see. Well, you're looking at a backdrop on the Presto behind them there. Those gauges are all the same size, and you can read them just fine.
Yeah. Here's the Presto gauge here. This is that one there. But yeah, this is, you know, decent size. That's the same size there. That one looks like it had been replaced about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. I put a couple videos on. Oh, you probably saw them on changing the gauge, changing from the Peacock to a regular pressure, a regular weight jiggler. They're easy to do. Yeah. I don't trust the little Peacock vent anymore because the springs get old and worn out. You can't buy new springs, so
yeah. And that's one of the things that I'm probably, I want to do with this one here, since the one my wife has at home in California has the jiggler on it, and it has the round one, so you can change to the different weights or whatever on it. I want to get this one done. But I was looking at all the different types canners listed and stuff, some of the old ones, and I've seen some really old ones. Now, interesting thing is too, for those that aren't following Rebel Canner's Facebook page, people will post, "Hey, I saw this for $15. Is it worth it?" I mean, the person's probably standing there as they post it to Facebook, waiting to get a couple of yeses just to push them over the edge to go ahead and buy it.
There's a lot of things to look for when you find a canner, especially an all-American. If you got to look at the two mating faces between the lid and the pot.
Mm-hmm.
If there's giant dents in it, like somebody used it for a sauce pot and was banging their spoon on there, you're done. You'd have to take it to a machine shop, have them re-taper it, and then make sure it seals. And the first thing you do is when you buy one, if it's that cheap, put it on a stove, just throw a gallon of water in there and see if you can come up the pressure and it's not leaking somewhere. If it's leaking everywhere, throw it back on Marketplace and let the next guy deal with it. But that's a sad thing to say.
Yeah. There are, you'd have to find a machine shop that has a milling machine.
Yeah, 3D miller.
And basically, they'll put it on there, and they can put a gauge on it, and they can spin the pot, and you can see how much deviation there is.
Yeah,
and if there's on the
dial indicator. Yep.
Yeah, and if on the outside, if there's no deviation on the outside, it's just on the inside where they've been whacking the spoon. Once they have it set up, they can just go ahead and just mill it 1,000ths off or 2,000ths off and get it exactly spot on, just like All American does.
If the pot dropped on the floor without the lid on it and it bent, yeah, that means when you put that lid on there, if you're buying a used one, if you're putting the lid on there, you got to make sure it feels snug everywhere. Like, oh, that's a hell of a freeze you just did there, Gil.
Yeah.
You got to make sure the lid is it's seated all the way around. Now, if you get one, I bought one cheap. The guy must have put a half a quart of olive oil on that thing every time he used it because somebody told him to do that, which is fine. It took me about 3 days to clean all the brown oil off of it, and it looks like new. I bought a new gauge, bought a new pin and a weight, and put it on there. The only thing that's difficult to change is the pressure relief pop-off valve. That's always a fun one. I haven't done one yet, haven't needed to. That's that rubber bung they put in there in case it gets above 20 psi. It'll blow off, and it'll make one heck of a mess when it does. Don't use a turkey cooker.
Yeah. And Glenn just came in on your side, Tammy.
Yeah, on Presto, those little safety relief valves are super easy to replace.
Yeah,
like I am not mechanical at all. I can replace every part on a Presto. I've never had to on an All American, but on a Presto, I can replace every part. The handles are easy to replace. Everything about it you can do yourself. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to fix these things.
Now I'm going to shift gears on you guys.
Are we going into low range or high range?
Sideways.
Or electric?
Sideways range. Oh, cool. Crawler mode.
We're going to steam. Got two pictures.
That's all you, Tammy.
Now,
I've never had a steamer canner before ever in my life.
you can use your pressure canner as a steam canner. You don't need to buy one of those. You can use your pressure canner as a steam canner. You can use your pressure canner as a water bath canner. So if you can only afford one canner, buy a pressure canner because you can use it to do all of these other things.
Okay. All right, folks, there's more information there. So, because I've been looking at this, and I'm just kind of like, I've been doing a little read, not really heavy into it, not really, you know.
It's really nice because it uses less water. So places where there's water restrictions, we talked about that the other day. If you're somewhere where you can't get access to good quality water, a steam canner is wonderful for water bathing because it's like the upside down. You only have that 3 inches of water in the bottom pan, maybe 4, and then the rest is all steam.
Okay. Is there anything, any special tricks that you'd like to share about a steam canner to people to be leery of?
It goes in and out of favor. So when you're reading up on it, understand that it goes in and out of favor, and they have been tested and deemed safe now. So a lot of people will tell you that they're not safe, but that's because a few years ago they were out of favor and they were telling everybody they weren't safe. The alphabet soup agencies go back and forth on things, and this is one of the things they go back and forth on. So use your own judgment, do your own research, but a lot of things you're going to see, if it's outdated, it's going to say that they're not safe, and they've all come full circle already in the last 10 years and come back and said, yes, we've tested them, they are. And a lot of them will have a gauge too that tells you the temperature in there, which is nice.
And Shawnee's here. Oh, perfect. She's steam canning strawberry cherry jam right now. Ta-da!
There we go. We need our expert. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Shawnee, put your camera up over the edge of what you're cooking, and we can bring you up here, and you can cook up here, or can up here rather, I should say. And Tammy Harder has a steam canner.
Yeah. See, it uses so much less water. It is really a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Now
I feel like I'm in a steam canner right now. It's hot here. We're under heat advisories and I'm sweating. I apologize as I'm, shutting the camera off frequently.
Saturday? No, yesterday it was 80 something. Saturday it was in the 90s. Today the high was, I'm looking out there right now. Okay, it's all right. So it's 6:30 right now where I'm here in Mountain, and it's 55 degrees outside.
I wish it was 55 degrees outside. It's 75 is the low for today.
When I got up this morning, it was 62 in the house. So I buttoned everything up. The temperature has risen to 67 in here because we got a dark roof on.
It went up to 94 up here today in southern PA.
I am camping out in a tin can, so we're just not going to talk about how I'm feeling the heat.
Oh, yeah, you're camping right now. I just realized, you were outside. Now you're in. That's not your house. That's a camper.
No, this is my camper.
All right.
And it needs some serious insulation so that it will keep the cool in and the heat in. And renovations, new videos coming soon. I'm RV life.
Yeah, RV life by Rebel Canners.
That's right.
Okay, hang on.
You get a whole lot of everything on my channel. Who says you have to be just one thing to everybody? You can be all things to everybody.
This Homestead was 94 in Oklahoma today. Yeah, well, welcome to summertime. I remember back in the 70s, it was hitting in the hundreds in July and August.
I'm literally going to Ohio to escape the heat. I'm literally leaving and going south. What is wrong with this picture? I'm going south to escape the heat this week.
Oh, it'll follow you.
Okay. Well, here's what's interesting is on Saturday, I believe it was Saturday night, it started snowing in Oregon. That weather has now hit me now. Hit me last night because the Tinker's wife, Patty, the Tinker's wife, posted the snow in Oregon.
Maybe that cool weather will come through here, or at least through southern Ohio next week.
It was just those chemtrails. Sorry, I had to go there.
All right. So I'm pulling something up here. Don't have a heart attack, anybody. Okay, so this says I purchased another variant back in December 12th, 2012. That was the 21 quart one, 21 and a half quart one. But the price is not, they're not showing the price on the 41 quart anymore. There are no features offered for it for this one. Now there's another version of it here, currently unavailable. They're out of stock on it.
Yeah, everybody decides they want to can and preserve food now. Huh, wonder why.
They're in high demand right now. I mean,
yeah,
canning season.
So, but the last time I looked at one of these, I just pulled these off my wish list. The price had dropped to $679, I think it was. It was up to $900.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Hey, what'd you pay for mine? Like $300? Yeah, my Lori bought me mine back 7 years ago, like $319 on Amazon or whatever. But now they're out of control.
December 2019, this bad boy here was $287. 3 months later, it was $700.
Yeah, but see, we've let the price of steel and aluminum, all of that is controlled by other countries now.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are no longer producing.
Yeah.
Up. And Tammy's signal just went bye-bye.
Well, she's still there. But so if I get another canner, it's going to be the 41 quart All-American.
Yeah, the 930. That's what I got.
No, not the 930. 930. Well, yeah, I guess.
Not the biggest one. The next biggest one. You can double stack quarts. The really big one is a problem for your stovetop because the flame isn't big enough, and it takes forever to come up to temperature. Like the biggest one they make.
Yeah, that's the 41. That's the 41 and a half quart.
Is that the 940? What model is that? Is that the 940?
941.
Yeah, that you don't want that. You really don't.
Now, the reason why I want that is for the half-gallon jars.
Now, I can fit half-gallon jars in my 930.
Yeah.
But I can only fit 2 of them in there at once. But I don't do half-gallon jars. I only do quarts.
Yeah, see, one of the things my wife and I have talked about doing is because we have all these half-gallon jars from my mom. And what are you gonna can in half-gallon jars that you're gonna eat when you open it? A meal for the entire family.
That's a meal for like 12, but okay.
No, well, you figure, all right, with some stuff we can, would be, all right, my youngest son is now 24. The next one up is 27, and they still will eat us out of house and home if they really like it. And stuff will be canned is stuff they really like. So, and then I got 4 grandboys coming up here. And when I cook some of the stuff that they really like, it gets their mom infuriated that I hear she's back.
Sorry.
Yeah. My daughter gets infuriated that the boys like stuff I cook better than what she cooks. And my wife was always complaining about my experimentation on the stovetop when Megan was growing up. So, but her boys like my experimentation stuff.
Yeah, I just don't see the need to buy a massive canner just for half-gallon jars.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a bunch of them, but I use them for storing freeze-dried stuff like onions and, stock items.
The other thing, too, is, with that 41 quart thing, you can triple and quadruple stack, depending on the size of the pints, half pints, quarts, whatever. You can stack up stuff in there. And if you get everything going, you put it all in there, and then you bring it up, rather than having 2 or 3 going.
I actually found using my 930, my 925, or 921. So I got 2
Quicker?
930s, 2 921s. One burner can handle the 930, the other one can't. It's not big enough, but it'll handle the 925 or 21, whatever it is. So I'll run 2 canners at the same time. I'll have it up to temperature, up to pressure, vented off, and done in less time than you could possibly heat that massive thing on a little tiny stove. And you don't want to do it on your outdoor buggy burner, whatever. You got to be careful doing it outside on those big burner stoves, because if you heat it too quick, you're gonna blow stuff out the jar lids every time, because you're getting the outside too hot too quick, and then when you put the cap on, it vented 10 minutes, and you put the weight on there, the inside materials are still not as hot. They're going to keep expanding. You're going to siphon everywhere and make a mess. So you got to do it slow. You can't be in a hurry to can. I mean, there is no, I got a bigger pot, I can do it faster. No, you can't. You really can't. I know Tammy's reliving everything I've mentioned on her chatter page, on her Facebook page for years. Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
You have to make sure the thing is you can get a reducer for those outdoor burners so that the BTUs are proper. And it's in the manual, which of course all my stuff is packed away at the moment. I was teased that I always had it right next to my chair where I did these lives, and now I can't find my books.
Uh-oh. They didn't get left there, did they?
No, they're here.
You can always go online and look at the one online.
Yep.
Assuming you can get online.
There is a certain BTUs, and you can go get a reducer at your local propane, wherever they sell propane for homes, like the big tanks of propane. The propane
either reducer or a diffuser on the big outdoor stoves.
Yes, you can put a diffuser, and you can buy those on Amazon. They're like a little metal plate that has holes in it, and it diffuses the heat. But that is not going to help protect the canner from warping. If you try to use your canner on a turkey fryer without one of those reducers, you will destroy it.
Buckle it.
You will destroy it. So if you don't know the BTUs on the outdoor stove, don't be putting your canner on there. Go check your manual. Check the manual on your outdoor stove and make sure they match up, or get a reducer.
Look at it this way. You can throw a cast iron, not that you want to do this, a cast iron Dutch oven on your turkey fryer and throw aluminum beer cans or soda cans in there and melt them. Yeah. So you don't want to use a turkey fryer or more than I think it's like 35,000 BTUs or something, or 40 on your can. Don't quote me.
I was thinking 15, Mark.
Yeah, because I know my outdoor stove, the 2 burner one I have, is 260. They're 30,000 BTU burners. Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah. You can do it. You just got that one. You can control. You can turn it way down. You just got to be careful.
Yeah. Now, I found another American. It says All American here. It's not what you're expecting though. So I'm pulling a Mark here, Tammy.
Oh, here we go with the electric. A can sealer.
I want one of those so bad.
He's got to find the cans.
They will have them at the summit this week, and I get to play with one.
$1,700.
I get to play with one, and I keep telling them, boy, I'd really like one of those. It's on my wish list. But
that's the big one. Here's the other one. This one's for the smaller cans, and I think that this is for the number 2 cans.
All right, there's actually, I believe, 3 of them. One does the small cans, one does the big cans, and then there's one that does both. And I want the one that does both.
Yeah, you can do any size can. Yeah. Number 2, number 5, number 10.
It's a lot easier to get the number 10 cans.
Yeah. So there is a whole different method to canning in a can that's sealed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a whole different bag of worms. I've never gone there. I don't think I'll ever need to go there because I don't have the machine. If I did, I'd have spent probably months figuring out how to do it without ruining the food.
You can do it in your All-American canners, the bigger ones. You can use your bigger ones to do it in the cans. And yes, there's a different timetable. There's a bunch of different things.
All right, this one here, this $1,700 one, will do number 10 and number 12 cans, and
That's
it's
the
made
one
in the USA.
Yep, that's the one I want.
Yeah, the my wife years ago at the LDS home canning center, they had these, the can where you could go in and you could can your own stuff. As far as you buy like the 50-pound bag of potato flakes or wheat or oats, and you can can it yourself.
And see, this is what you need. Like, no offense to this wonderful company that I ordered a bunch of food from, but when I get those number 10 cans, they're light. They have freeze dried it, and they're very, very light. There's a lot of air in there,
you shake it, it's like, this is not full.
No, and so I really wish that I had one of those so I could do my own freeze dry. When I get my freeze dryer, I can do my own food, freeze dried food.
We need to get you a laptop before we get you a freeze dryer.
Hey, I said I'm dreaming, okay? It's not like tomorrow's list. A girl can dream. Some girls want diamonds. Some girls want fancy cars. I want.
Yeah, my wife and I want a commercial kitchen in our new house.
Tammy, you made me think of something. When when Chris and I were first getting together, I said, "Well, you want a diamond?" He goes, "Diamonds are junk stones." And she didn't said it. 30 years, not 30. Okay, 60 years ago, diamonds were worthless.
Yeah, it
was rubies, sapphires, emeralds. Those were the precious stones. Diamonds were junk until De Beers bought up a bunch of the mines and then stopped production and drove the price up. Marketing.
That's a whole nother conspiracy theory.
Wait, what did I miss? I was talking to my wife. Sorry.
We're just talking about that, how De Beers took a junk stone known as diamonds or garbage stone and turned it into, it's the best stone out there. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But
it's just pressed carbon.
Yeah. One of the things, all right, I don't want to say it here. We'll talk afterwards about it. It's I need to get some information from you before I present the idea here to you, Tammy. But yeah.
Yep.
But the number 10 cans are great for canning dry goods.
Yes.
For long term.
Yep.
Especially if you can especially if you have a connection with a welding shop.
Why a welding shop?
Or the welding shop supplier. You can get like an acetylene sized tank of nitrogen.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
With the regulator on it, and just go and just displace all the oxygen out of there. Can it? Boom.
You still got to throw an O2 absorber in there, because you're not going to get 100% of the O2 out. You can load it up with nitrogen, still drop an O2 pack in there, probably a 500 cc or 1,000 cc to guarantee you've got the oxygen out. And that's another video with you, me, and Tammy on freeze drying and water.
And the things you would also toss in a oxygen, and you toss in a moisture, because depending on the humidity when you're packing it, unless you have.
Now, desiccant packs have no place in freeze dried food. Sorry.
I'm not talking freeze dried food. I'm talking just like you're doing beans, you're doing rice, you're doing potato flakes, you're doing.
If you're going to store something in a can that's sealed, bags are not 100% sealed.
I'm talking bags. I'm talking.
I know, cans. If you're going to throw like rice in a can and throw a desiccant pack in there, it'll go bad, because any humidity might go to the desiccant pack, but there's still moisture in there and oxygen. That's what kills food. So if you want dried rice, you're either going to throw an O2 absorber in there and put it in a really good chamber sealer, and then let the O2 absorb, because the O2 absorber works by using whatever moisture's in the air and the oxygen. It oxidizes the iron powder and turns it into CO2. And that's it. You're done. You got all the oxygen out of there, and the moisture has turned to rust.
I just want to point out one thing for this should be a topic on your other channel. Do not buy seeds that have been processed this way. Everybody out there is getting sold a whole
freeze-dried seeds.
No, where you put the nitrogen in and the oxygen and the desiccant, and they put the seeds, and then they seal the can up, and they're supposed to be good for 25 years. I want to point out right here, seeds are alive. Yeah. Living things need oxygen.
The Egyptians, they pulled out wheat seeds from clay pots in the Egyptian desert that grew, that were thousands of years old. They didn't have desiccant. They didn't have O2 absorbers. They didn't have canning machines. They had none of that.
Yeah.
They put
but they did have the desert sun, which dried everything drier than a popcorn fart.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you didn't pull the oxygen out of there, and you didn't take any remaining humidity in the environment out of there.
Yeah.
It was in a clay pot. Clay pots do have their own science behind it, but
yeah. And that's one of the things too. We talk about the canning into those metal cans and stuff. If I'm going to be doing that, it's not going to be during the summertime. It's going to be in the dead of winter when the humidity level is down to like 15 in the house here.
Yeah, that's going to be part of my topic when we do my freeze drying thing again.
Yeah.
High humidity. Everybody's like, oh, I put it in my garage. It's like, yeah, it's summertime. It's 90 degrees outside. Your humidity is like 85, 90%. Yeah, you're going to be putting food in a bag. The O2 absorber is only going to take so much moisture out of there. Yeah. And your food's going to go bad. So, yeah, humidity is a huge factor in that. I have central air in the house, and my basement is perpetually at 22%, even in the wintertime. So, yeah, I have no issues with, and that's a whole whatever. We'll get into that on that feed. Hey, Tammy, you're on mute. Blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, it was me. I went there. But I just, it burns me every time I see those survival seed kits packed out. Because
now here's something going back to the other canners. Go to the water bath here again. It's just a stock pot.
It's a pot. You just got to insulate your jars off the bottom. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, and if you can, with some of these pots and stuff, like here they're using, you can use the pressure canner stuff just as a water bather. But if you have your stuff, you go to Amazon and you measure across the inside of your pot, and you look for one of the racks that'll fit your pot.
Go to Walmart. They have the silicone one that expands. So it starts out about that big and goes out like it'll fit in any pot.
I bought for some of my smaller stock pots. I went on Red Hill General Store, one of them, and they have the different inserts for your pressure canners, the aluminum little spacers on the bottom. And they had one that fit one of my other pots. I was like, perfect. So I bought a bunch of those. They were like, $6 each. I bought a bunch of those. So I use one of my smaller regular stock pots as a water bath can. I don't use the lift out racks. I don't use any of that stuff. I just use my my tongs.
Yeah.
If you go to Ace Hardware, you can get the replacement inserts that are the metal ones.
Yep.
Or they were the last time I had to buy one, it was under $14.
Yeah, they're not expensive, and it's worth every penny unless you're going to throw a towel or something in the bottom if you're only doing it one time.
I have done that. I've seen people that take the lids and use bread wrapper things to zip tie them together with bread wrappers, little holders, and made
your own spacer.
Yeah.
Made a trivet.
Yeah, trivet.
Thank you.
Trivet.
Yeah, trivet.
Trivet.
Sorry, I was watching Walker Texas Ranger and his partners, Trivet. So, but yeah, I mean, for my pressure can for the actually, is it in this one? Hang on.
Yep, there it is. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Two pack. But I got these for stacking.
Yeah.
That's what these but these can also go on the bottom as well.
Yes.
One goes on the bottom and one goes in between the next set of jars. And when you're pressure canning, that's why I can double stack quarts in my big ones.
Yeah. Well,
and, you don't want to put them on top, but you can, as long as you're not like pushing down on the center of each jar, because they'll stack that way.
Yeah. Well, that's still.
And you froze.
That still has the original base one in there already. I just wanted, if I start using the little half pints and stuff, I'm going to need spacer on it. So.
Yeah, I've double stacked water bath in one of my canners because I was doing half pint jars. I had like 26 of them. I was like, I am not sitting around all day long. So I stacked them all up, put the water in there, brought it to a boil, and let it go. And I let it go for an extra 5 minutes or something to make sure that everything was where it needed to be. And shut the water off, pulled the lids out, and pulled the jars out, and pulled the spacers out. And everything's 6 years later. I still got Joey. That's fine.
And Howie, Food Forest Permaculture's in the house.
What's up, Howie?
And so, that's what else I was going to hang on, Tammy. I screwed up here. Something else here.
You're gonna bring up the electric All-American, which is not a pressure canner.
No. I'm going to bring up, and let me get the thing here. Control C. Put it down here in the chat. Okay, so there it is in the chat. The link to Rebel Canners Facebook page.
Oh, yes.
And of course, everything's changing. There's so much stuff going into this. I mean, when I close it out, I lose where I was at, and all right. Now they're not listing the stuff that was in there before. Someone had pictures of the of one they were going to buy. They want to know if they should buy it or not. And that was a couple hours ago. Of course, it's the way the thing loads in. Like this is yesterday, but I'll probably find one here that's a couple hours ago, 12 hours ago. So from yesterday to 12 hours ago. Oh, canners! There you go. There you go, folks.
Yep.
I like that.
A dowel on a piece of wood and hanging off the wall. All your rings are there.
Yep. Trying to find, because I'm getting back in it. There's around about this time they had the picture of it. But there's I have this. This is a Tefal, however you want to pronounce it.
Tefal, yeah.
Tefal.
Yep. Tefal. They make induction stove one too, but it is outrageously expensive.
Yeah.
Somewhere between I like some of these stories in here too. Somewhere between the ages of 7 and 9, I spent my summer days at Grandma's house. She had arthritis in her hands, so I was her hands in the kitchen and did the cooking for her guidance. She still cooked for her 7 kids that visited weekly, and she taught me everything. I became a very good cook, including water bath canning. Grandma was born in 1900. Well, my grandmother was born in 1899, but yeah. Married by 15. I think my grandmother got married at 17. They didn't have pressure canner back then. But nowadays she'd be called a rebel canner of meats, vegetables, and meals.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and it goes on a little bit more about the 22 quart Presto and the weights and stuff for it. But yeah. So great information about this, about showing, stories that are on the Rebel Canners Facebook page, history-wise, to show that, wait a minute, this is the way people used to do it all the time. It wasn't rebel. It was normal.
So the one thing I like from Muro is this. It's the weight with, so this is 5, this is 10, this is 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love this kind of weight as opposed
Just
to
don't lose the rings.
Yeah. Oh, my kids, they're terrible. This is probably my 4th one I've ever had.
So little trick I did on my All-American.
I bought one just like that, that's sitting in its packet wrapper in the kitchen where the canners were at, for when I need 5 or 10 pounds.
Yes.
Otherwise, I got the 15-pounder that came with it.
Yeah.
Yep. Little trick I did with my All-Americans, all of them. I took some cotton butcher's twine, ran it through the hole because there's 3 holes in between the weight numbers, ran it through the hole and tied it to the lid with a lot of slack on it. If it adds an extra half a PSI of weight to it, it's a lot. That way, when it's done, they don't disappear and I'm screwed. So, and when I store my canners, the lids are upside down.
Me too.
Because I stack them. I mean,
That
I got
protects
3
my
of them
gauge.
stacked up with other. I got the leaning tower of canners in the corner of my kitchen. My wife hates.
I always do that too. I've always been taught to do that because that protects your gauge from getting bumped.
Mm-hmm.
So my canner is always stored with the lid flipped upside down and the gauge is down in there where it's not going to get bumped.
All right.
That's a mom thing.
Here was a post that I saw this morning on Rebel Canners. An Atlas strong shoulder mason jar, number 4 on the bottom. And she was asking, does anybody have any information about it? She got it at Goodwill.
Yeah, it's an old jar. Use it for marbles.
Somebody posted, hang on, the comments, where they saw it, saw one on eBay for $169, but also saw one for $40.
Yeah.
It's all on what you're willing to pay and what you really want it for. A lot of collectors out there for the old blue jars. I got a bunch. I won't sell them. They were my mom's.
I have one over here. I love it. I save them. I bought it for $3 at a garage sale. Last year they had them. They had them for $5. 2 years ago. Last year they had them for $4, and this year she still had them marked $4 each. And I'm like, I'll give you $3 for one of those. And I picked out, and that was that one with the round, but they're half gallons.
Yeah. And of course, someone's posting the timetable charts again.
Yep.
And
that's almost daily.
Yeah. And mandarin oranges. But there's a lot of good information here, folks, if you're interested in canning. Another Tammy. Got a lot of Tammys canning here on Rebel Canners, Tammy.
Don't know what to tell you. It's a popular name for this.
Oh, there's some old ones too.
Yeah,
and they're not that old. I got older ones than that with the zinc lid with the ceramic insert.
Yeah, this
I got some of those lids too.
These are 1908s.
Yep,
have a date on them. Cool.
Yep, they got the bale and all that. Yeah. Hey, Gil, did you see my videos on there about, all the, because I used to post lots of it. Now you can't live feed anything.
Yeah.
But they're all in there.
I looked at a couple of them, but I didn't have much time to go through all of them.
Oh, you're fine.
Do you mind if I give that out here?
Go ahead.
All right. So
just do a search on it and then just pull it up and they can read it.
All right. So Mark Taylor, search. This is on. These are all his stuff. Go on Rebel Canners, and was live on Rebel Canners. All his stuff here.
His best stuff on Rebel Canners is anonymous because all those wonderful memes.
Yeah, well,
I would just go, "Hey, Mark, they're really driving me crazy. I have a meme to tell him to stop doing X, Y, Z."
Yeah, I need something to tell him stop talking about the B word.
But anyway, he says this is Mark's stuff from. Hey, that's when I retired, Mark.
Alrighty, that was my Satan's butt candy I made for a friend of mine. Yeah.
Whoa.
That stuff.
52 pints, 23 quarts, 10 lids short, $30.
Yep. Bought those in the middle of nowhere in Vermont on the way back from dropping my daughter off. Yeah, that was great. So, yeah, love that. Love that tomato. One tomato per pint. That works.
Anyways, so you find a particular person you want to follow on Rebel Canners. You do the search, type their name in, and he's got a lot of cool stuff in there.
I ain't posted in probably a few years because Tammy and I had some discussions about that, but that's just because I don't have time for this. It was the questions that kept coming up. I'm like, please, for the love of Pete, stop. You're all going to die.
And I took a step away when I was writing my books. I've just kind of come back to being a full-time admin again. I went part-time myself while I was writing because I couldn't write and babysit the group 24/7.
Yeah, and how many admins you got on there now? Like 12?
Maybe. And I keep it close because it has to be somebody I really trust.
Yeah, because I tried to post something on there and I got blasted. I texted you and you texted them and said, look, just let them post it. It's just a picture. Holy crap. And they let it on there, of course, against their will because I had to read all the new
They take good
rules.
care of me there, okay?
Oh, no, I get that. I get that.
They take good care, because there are things people are pushing, and there's people that come in just to see if they can
poke the bear.
Stuff.
Yep.
It's like, go away. We don't need that. This is not that kind. If you're not here to seriously learn, you're in the wrong place. Goodbye.
No, you're just here to bash and bitch and all that stuff. Yeah.
All right. Ray just came in on your side.
Who? Oh,
Ray. They just came in. They started water bath canning everything. About old Amish water bath canning rules. Because I could not afford a pressure canner. Now I regular can with 60 or 80 quart crawfish boiler. Cool.
Yep.
3 hours and don't run out of water.
My grandmother, born in 1899, learned how to water bath everything. Venison, squaw, everything was water bathed up because
And some countries, excuse me, some countries still can't buy canners. I mean,
most of Europe water baths you can't buy a pressure. They didn't have pressure canners over there.
The price to get one just to ship one to Australia is
forget it.
I couldn't.
Shadow Scout was talking about it. He's saving up to try to get a pressure canner, an all-American. He's saving up for that.
I got to email him because I will literally ship him one of mine depending on what it costs to ship. I got 4 of them. I got two of the 920s and 2 of the 930s. I'm not part with the 930s, but I'll part with one of the 920s with a brand new gauge on it. I got to talk. I didn't know he was looking for that. I'll email him.
Okay. I need to get over here on this real quick here because I just realized we're over time and Lee has started his Cold War Prepper live stream.
All right.
All right. So coming up here real quick here, but don't go anywhere, Tammy. I want to talk to you for 5 minutes afterwards. All right. So coming up here tomorrow night on my Gray Man Prepping is for Tactical Tuesday. Are you physically ready? Thursday is the Midnight Ride. Friday, back here on Camppatton Family Compound, is the first full day of summer. So guess what we're talking about? Gardening and other things. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping is Chickens for Preppers. And then next Monday here, we're going to be talking canning science.
Yes.
So get your notepads out, people.
I'll have to come up with a new picture for that one.
Bill Nye.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna put a picture of Bill Nye in a jar and take a picture of it.
A little jar with an atom, like the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And of course, Tammy will not be going live on Thursday unless she's able to figure out how to do it from the
camper.
From the summit.
I'm at the summit.
From the summit.
Oh, that's right. You're at the summit.
I'm gonna be at the summit.
Well, if nothing else, put out if somebody else is doing a live feed there, at least put the link out there so we can watch that.
And come meet me if you're in the area. Come meet me on Wednesday night. We're doing a meet and greet with content creators, and a lot of amazing people will be there. Justin Rhodes, Joe Salatin, just a few people, way better at things than me at Homestead.
And that's the 19th and 20th.
Yes, in Millersburg, Ohio.
Right.
The Food Independent Summit.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in and for joining the side chat there. And hopefully I will see you over tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping at 8 Eastern for Tactical Tuesday. All right. See y'all later.
See ya.